Welcome to my series on how I flipped my algebra class. I am Debbie Veach, and I successfully flipped my algebra classroom 2 years ago. This is video 4 about how to use class time when no longer lecturing. Our school is on a block schedule, which means that students come to algebra class for 90 minutes every other day. After making the videos, I quickly realized that my next challenge was to provide meaningful class time. Giving my students more worksheets to fill up the 90-minute class period was not sufficient. Here is a typical day in my algebra class. Students start with a warm-up over previously learned material, not last night's topic. This is on the screen as students enter class. Here is an example of a typical warm-up I put on the screen after the bell rings. I quickly walk around the room and give points for completed notes while students work on the warm-up. We go over the warm-up problems together. Then students participate in a variety of engaging activities. Large group activities such as quiz, trade, or hot seat. Small group activities such as sum it up, relay, or round robin. Partner activities such as placemat, problem pass, puzzles, matching, scavenger hunt, and gallery walk. And individual classwork, either worksheets or from the textbook. Each of the large group, small group, and partner activities is quickly checked by the students or the teacher for accuracy. The immediate feedback is essential for learning and mastery. Here are some examples of the day's activities I show on the screen. Students know that they are to complete the activities in the correct order before moving on to the next one on the list. Since students work at different rates, smaller groups are ready for activities such as a scavenger hunt, sum it up, or gallery walk later in the class period. Only the individual classwork, worksheet, or bookwork is turned in for classwork points. Here are examples of some of the activities I use. The quiz trade activity is an excellent large group activity to use at the beginning of class. Students show their card to a partner. Since the answer is on the back, students can help each other. Then students trade cards and switch partners to continue the activity. The sum it up activity is a great small group activity. Pages can be put on the walls so students can walk from station to station. 3 students each have their own algebra problem to do. Then they add together their 3 answers to find a sum which is given on the back of the station. These 3 activities work well as partner activities. I put placemats inside plastic page protectors so students can write on the placemat. Students work all 4 problems and then add the 4 answers together. I can easily check the sum in the middle of the page as I walk around the room. The problem pass activity works well as practice in the middle of a lesson or as a review. My students work with a partner and the entire class participates at the same time. I give the problems to students in order. After everyone has finished their problem, they pass their old problem in a specific direction to the next pair of students. Then I instruct everyone to turn over their new problem to find the answer of their old problem. This continues until students have worked and checked all of the problems in the set. The puzzle activity is another fun way for students to practice. As students work, I move about the room constantly answering questions and checking their work for accuracy. Students turn in completed classwork worksheets for points. Individual classwork is so important that I place a red check mark on each accurate answer on each student's individual classwork worksheet, so we both know what is correct and checked and which problems still need checking. I answer questions individually as students raise their hands. And I also work my way up and down each row many times so I don't accidentally skip quieter students. With all of the checks for accuracy, with students checking each other, checking themselves, and having me check their work in front of them, we catch misunderstandings early and don't find out on the test that someone has been making a mistake all along. Using activities makes class more fun for students. It gets the students up and moving around the classroom. It gets students talking to each other about algebra and creates healthy team competition and provides a safe environment to make mistakes when students check their own answers or their team's answers are evaluated, and creates more enthusiasm in the class. It also makes more fun for teachers. The classroom atmosphere is more relaxed. There's more variety in the day. You get to know the students better and more quickly. And it's very rewarding to give students immediate feedback and see their growth. And student behavior improves. Here are some pointers when you first begin to flip your classroom. Resist the temptation to give last night's lecture again in class. This is really difficult to do the first few days, but trust your videos and your students. Not giving a mini lecture out loud to the general class validates the importance of students carefully watching the homework videos and taking detailed notes to use in class. Accept watching 100% of homework videos only. Resist giving partial homework points for students who watch only part of the assigned video or videos. Require students without notes to watch videos on classroom computers and take or finish their notes before participating in class activities. After completing notes in class, these students can then start at the beginning of the day's activities alone or with one or two others in the same position. Often they cannot finish everything and are required to return another time or after school. A few students may repeatedly do no homework, but most students do not like missing the group activities or being behind in the classwork. The group of no homework students will likely become very small. Require that individual classwork must be completed in the classroom, not taken home for later. I collect the individual classwork for points. This can be a worksheet or problems from a textbook. I do not collect nor give points for activities. Let's take a look at how to use student notes in class. Let's find this in your notes to see what you're supposed to do, is my first response when students ask for help. Once they see that they already have an example like the problem they are working, they gain confidence and usually complete the problem on their own. Eventually, students learn to look to their notes for help first. Of course, if students are still confused, I help them by explaining the example again. What if a student says, I understood everything on the video, so I didn't need to write it down? If a student took limited notes, I would say, are these limited notes going to help you today? And when that student asks for help to work an early activity problem, I ask them to open their notes to see an example. When an example is not there, my response is, that's a problem. And then I either walk away or I say, perhaps your neighbor might share his or her notes this time to help you. It only takes once, and then students take better notes for themselves. Students quickly learn to take detailed notes from the videos and use them. Thank you for watching my series of videos about how I flipped my algebra class, and you can too. Happy flipping!